Hey everybody. I know I need to probably play with the light a little bit. Let me turn that up. I didn't anticipate that. Whoops, wrong direction. There we go. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna do another version of this podcast, and I want to see how this goes with an AI, Emma AI. So let's get started and let's see how this goes. Emma, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great and super excited to be here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I think today I'd like to talk about using OBS and AI as a way to do podcasts moving forward.
That sounds like a fantastic topic. There's so much potential with combining OBS and AI for creating really dynamic and interactive podcasts. I'm excited to dive into that and chat about all the possibilities.
So currently I'm using Animaze as an animation tool and I'm using a Ready Player Me character. However, one of the things I really like to do is actually make it less cartoony and more realistic. What are some of the tools you'd recommend for that?
There are definitely some great options out there if you're aiming for a more realistic avatar. One popular tool is Unreal Engine's MetaHuman Creator, which allows you to create highly detailed and lifelike digital humans. Another option could be using something like Character Creator by Reallusion, which integrates well with other animation tools and can give you that realistic look. Those might be fun to explore.
What was that Unity one you had mentioned?
Oh, yeah. So Unity has a really cool option called Unity Art Engine, which is great for enhancing and creating super realistic textures and details for characters. And you can also look into Unity's integration with tools like Ziva Dynamics, which helps you create really lifelike facial animations and muscle movements. It's definitely worth checking out.
Would that actually tie in easily to OBS?
Yeah, definitely. You can use those tools to create your realistic avatar, and then you can bring that avatar into OBS using plugins or by capturing a window from Unity or any other software that you're using. It's a pretty seamless process once you get everything set up, and it can make your podcast visuals look really polished and professional.
Oh, that would be great. I mean, I know for voice stuff, everyone's familiar with 11 Labs, but are there some other tools for audio?
Absolutely. There are a few other great tools out there for audio. One is Descript, which not only does high quality voice synthesis, but also lets you edit audio by editing text, which is pretty cool. Another option could be Resemble AI, which also offers realistic voice cloning and synthesis. So you definitely have a lot of tools to play around with to get that perfect audio for your podcast.
So, if someone's just getting started, what are some of the recommendations you would have of getting started using AI as a podcast guest or even presenter?
I think the first step would be to start with a user-friendly tool that lets you experiment easily. Something like Descript or even Synthesia can help you create AI voices or avatars without a huge learning curve. It's also a good idea to start small, maybe integrating AI just for certain segments of your podcast to see how it fits. And definitely have fun with it. Experiment and let your creativity guide you.
Let's see, I'm kind of curious on how I'm doing on this. So, this has actually been a 5 minute podcast so far. And I know there's been a little bit of latency, so I'm wondering if there's a way to actually reduce the latency in the communication.
Latency can definitely be a challenge, but there are a few things you can try. One is making sure that your internet connection is as stable and fast as possible. Another thing you can do is look into low latency streaming settings in OBS or any other streaming software you're using. And sometimes using dedicated servers or services that are optimized for low latency communication can help a lot as well. So there are definitely a few tricks to reduce that delay.
Awesome. Is there ways to actually improve your idle animations using with animes? Because I'm using a Ready Player Me character, but right now the only thing I see moving is your eyes right now.
Yeah, definitely. One thing you can do is customize the idle animations within animes. They have some built-in settings that let you tweak the character's movement, like subtle breathing or head tilts. You can also look into adding more animations through Ready Player Me, or even importing custom animations if you want to give your character more personality. It's all about fine-tuning those settings to get the look you want.
All right, I'll have to play with that. Well, this is just my second test of doing this. I think it's working actually a lot better than I anticipated. So just wanted to say thanks for joining me today, and we will do this again.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad to hear it's going well, and it's been a lot of fun being part of your podcast experiment. I'm definitely looking forward to doing it again. So just let me know when you're ready for the next round.
All right, thanks again. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks so much for having me. Talk to you soon.